This is the Great Basin prescribed fire and weather briefing for Friday, April 10th. Looking at our activity map, quite a bit. A lot of prescribed fire activity and mostly confined to northern areas, up in Idaho, a little bit up in northern Nevada, much more sparse as you head further south. We are starting to see an increasing rash of natural fires recently here in the red across our northern areas, northern Utah, northern Nevada, parts of Idaho on the small side, given by the small circles, maybe a half-acre to 3-acre type size. But it is that time of year. The dormant season has retreated further northwards. Green up is full underway in southern and even central areas in the lower elevations. That should minimize some of that natural fire activity for a little bit. Observed precipitation for the past 7 days, bone dry in the southern third of the geographic area. Light precipitation in the central and northern areas in the valleys. Moderate amounts. We see the green here in the highest elevations, roughly a half-inch. Far northern Wasatch Mountains, mountains of eastern Idaho, western Wyoming. But we've been kind of in a drying trend over much of the past 7 days. Our flash drought index over the past 2 months still indicates the most extreme drought conditions, where you see that dark red area. Moderate to locally severe drought, we see the lighter red, and starting to that orange area of moderate drought starting to creep up into southern Idaho now. And our snowpack, really, snow cover pretty much gone in most areas below 8,000 feet in southern and central areas, and below 7,000 feet in northern areas, and just confined to the highest peaks. Some of that significant snow we had in the Wasatch and Uintas just a week ago has pretty much vanished under the hot April sun. And current fuel conditions on the ERC side will go from top to bottom, way up north, up in the Payette National Forest. You can see that the current ERCs are well above that gray line for normal and just under record levels for this time of year. It is expected to show a precipitous drop where the green forecast is because of expected precipitation up in the north. But currently, even in the south, in far southern Utah, in the higher elevations of the Dixie National Forest, we are at record level ERCs, right at the 80th percentile. This yellow line through here, we also see the sharp drop down to below normal with expectations of precipitation. I don't know if it'll get that low. Some of the models have been backing off a little bit on precipitation that far south, but we'll see. Now, looking at the upper level map for today, high pressure over the region will be weakening. We have a series of low pressure areas moving out of the Pacific, moving onshore across northern California. The southerly flow pulls some moisture out of the Baja region, and we'll see increasing clouds across the area today. We'll also see increasing winds, some of the tight flows around this low pressure area. That's going to result in excellent overall dispersion given by the areas in the white covering most of the region. You see the surface winds quite strong at the surface across much of the southern half or even central parts of Nevada into far western Utah. The oranges indicate wind speeds at the surface somewhere between 20 and 28 miles an hour sustained. At the same time, humidity will be in the mid to upper teens in those southern and central areas, rising up to 25 to 35% further north. Now, the transport winds, and that's analogous to wind gusts and also winds near the ridges, and that's where you see these really strong values here in these reddish and purple shades. These are winds of somewhere between 40 and 50 miles an hour for gusts or winds along the upper slopes in parts of Nevada. Mixing heights, great this time of year, at least 5 to 7,000 feet above ground level in most areas. And that slow moving, those low pressure areas consolidate off the northern California coast. Lots of precip into northern California, edging into far northwestern Nevada. But there's a fairly dry wedge further south. So we're not going to see that much precipitation initially across the Sierra. And but we will see the wind. It's going to cause excellent overall dispersion. Again, those pretty strong surface winds in the dark greens and oranges of 20 to 28 miles an hour, spreading eastwards. Humidity somewhere in the mid to upper teens in the south, but 20 to 40% as you head further north. You can see those widespread strong winds again in the purple shades. Ridgetop and transport winds somewhere between 40 and maybe 45 miles an hour across much of Utah. Also some strong winds coming in off the Sierra. Excellent overall vertical dispersion. And that low pressure area very slowly drifts into the tri-state point between California, Nevada, and Oregon on Sunday. Ventilation index dispersion as good as it gets. Widespread winds again with around this low. And looking at maybe 20 to 30 or maybe 35 mile an hour sustained winds across much of central and eastern areas of the Great Basin. The driest air, upper teens, mid to upper teens humidity gets confined to eastern Utah. A significant increase in humidity further west and north in response to that deep late winter type low pressure area. And look at these transport winds, extremely strong. We're going to see winds gusting over 40, 50, maybe even 60 miles an hour across parts of central and northern Utah. Also similar off the Sierra and elsewhere. Widespread gusts of 30 to 40 miles an hour. A very windy day. Fortunately, humidity will be rising across western areas, but still fairly dry in eastern Utah. Have to watch some of those existing small fires or prescribed fires if there are any. Mixing heights definitely high, well above the ground level. Precipitation between the Friday morning and Monday morning, moderate to locally heavy from the edge of the Sierra and into parts of northern or northwestern Nevada, but it really peters out as you head further east, just as to more showery, light precipitation, islands of no precipitation further southeast. Now on Monday, that low pressure area moves a bit further inland across California into the south, and it does start to weaken. You see the breakup in that solid dark green area be more scattered. That means that any precipitation across the rest of Nevada and Utah will be more showery on and off, a bit of drier air moving in behind it, excellent ventilation. This weak low continues to push further to the east, another low pressure area in the far north, and that low starts moving in and starts tapping some deeper moisture. Another low, weak one off the Southern California coast, and they kind of combine on Thursday to produce a pretty strong cold front and pretty consolidated area of what could be moderate precipitation and strong winds. Of course, parts of Nevada, northwest Utah, and as well as parts of Idaho and western Wyoming. Still a lot of days before we get there. Sometimes the models will have quite a different scenario by the time we actually get to that event. Precipitation days 4 and 5, Monday morning through Wednesday morning. And then we see a drying trend days 6 and 7, except that next storm system, it looks like that some of that deeper moisture will be further north. 7-day precip totals shown here, and the 8 to 14-day outlook. It is looking like we'll see a somewhat of a cooling trend across western and northern areas, still above normal expectations of temperature further east. And precipitation probability is a little bit wetter than normal across most of the geographic area, except near normal further across eastern Utah. This concludes our briefing. Next one coming up this coming Monday. Have a good weekend.